A common struggle for a lot of course creators is finding confidence when they go to teach their content. And actually, sometimes confidence can suffer even when you're putting stuff together. It's not uncommon to start doubting yourself, to start doubting whether or not you would even have anything to teach anybody that would benefit them. So I'm going to offer you 4 thoughts that are going to help you build confidence so you can have confidence. We want to come across as confident. The 4 thoughts are really about looking at your opinion as having value, keeping your sight on other people, so showing empathy, looking back at your experience and how you've done things in the past and how you can actually pull examples from the past is very, very helpful. And it's definitely a thought that can help. And the other is your expertise. So opinion, empathy, experience, and expertise. These are 4 different thoughts that can help you build confidence, because I believe you can do that. I believe that everybody has something to teach the world. There's something that you're awesome at, and the world is a better place when we share those things that we're good at. So the first, we're going to look at opinion. Opinions have value. Just think about the time that you've wanted to recommend a book or a movie to a friend. These are times when you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be somebody who is a movie expert in order to recommend a movie. And you don't have to be an expert to recommend a book. You just have to know what's going to help somebody. And helping somebody can make a big difference. Now, I use book and movie recommendations because it's something you've probably done before, but you probably have opinions that are related to your field. For example, I have opinions based on things like microlearning and gamification and cognitive load. I have opinions that are based on some of the evidence that I've looked at and some of the studies that I've looked at, but also kind of like what I've seen going on. And some of that relates back to my experience, and we'll get to that in a second. But those opinions matter. Let's just say that a lot of people are looking for evidence-based practices. They're looking for evidence-based things, but evidence doesn't cover everything. Right? If you want to have the best ways to study, there's definitely evidence about that. But if you want to put your own twist on it or tell like what situations one method works better than another, that's going to be based on your opinion. And that is valid if you've worked in that field for a while. Or you might find that you have an opinion about which there is no evidence. So you have to just draw on your expertise and you have to draw on your experience to put together an opinion that matters. So your opinions count. Opinions are valuable, and people want to hear your opinions. Okay, so the second thought, and really this would be my first thought, but I kind of wanted to keep all the E's together. So empathy by far is one of the best ways to help you build confidence, because sometimes we get so caught up in our own fears, like, am I good enough? Will I be able to put this forward? And, am I going to look good on camera? Am I going to sound coherent? Are people going to really want to listen to me? I've had those feelings. I totally know, I still have them today. As I'm doing this video, I still have those today. But if I can think about how what I've been through can help other people, I turn my focus away from my own fear and I turn it towards the needs of other people. Can I help? Can I use my experience in not feeling confident in the past and how I've become confident to help you? And one of the best methods for developing confidence is really to have that focus on how can I help the other person? Because now I'm not thinking about the fear. I'm not thinking about my knees shaking. I'm not thinking about how my hair looks, or I'm not thinking about, how I sound. I'm really concentrating and focusing on how can I help somebody who is struggling being confident on camera. So my focus is turned from me to you. And that is actually one way to build confidence. Okay, so the third way to build confidence is your experience. Please use examples of things that you've done, you've seen, even like non-examples. A non-example is basically an example that shows how something shouldn't be done or how something turned out terribly. So non-examples are sometimes helpful. If you share an example of something that you've done before in the past that didn't work and it was disastrous, those examples are great. And if you share examples of how you've done something and it worked out awesome, that's great too. And of course, it doesn't have to be even a personal experience. It can be an experience that you are aware of in your field, or maybe something that you watch somebody else do. Like if I'm working in my department and I've got other people putting together a course, I can learn a lesson from what they did and I can share that experience as well. So those experiences that you've been through are incredibly valuable. And that can give you confidence knowing that you're sharing something that was really important to you, and it can actually have a really, really important aspect to somebody else. So for instance, I actually had this experience where I felt like God was telling me something specific to wearing lipstick. And I felt like it was just a message that was just for me. And I kept it to myself for many years. And then I shared it with one person. They were like, wow, that's really, really great. And then I shared it with other people. And then I ended up sharing it with lots and lots of people and created a group on it and did a whole kind of like, not a course, but like an event based on this particular experience. And what I found is that little experience that I thought was just for me has been pivotal for a lot of people. In the same way, there's probably experiences that you've been through that are important to you that can actually become very important to other people as well, if you're willing to share it. All right, so we've gone through opinion, empathy, experience, and the last is expertise. And what I found in my lots and lots of experience is that a lot of experts don't even know that they're experts. So there was someone who had a question a few weeks back about, what they think about thought leaders who promote themselves as thought leaders. And it sounds kind of like self-congratulatory. Look, I'm so great. But the truth is that there are lots of people who are thought leaders who are not recognized as thought leaders because they've never promoted themselves as thought leaders. And you may have something that's instrumental to other people. And as long as you keep that bottled up in a secret and only you know about it, then you're not benefiting other people. Your expertise matters, and you may be an expert about something and not even realize it. In fact, what is really, really common among many experts is that they feel like everything that they're an expert in is very easy. So if you're an expert at scheduling, you could look at somebody's schedule and go, oh, you just do it like this. Oh, it's nothing. Scheduling is easy. It's not an important thing to share with other people. And the truth is that what is so easy for you is not super easy for other people. Now, this happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I'm teaching my son how to drive a stick shift, and he was struggling with steering the car while shifting. And I could see him gripping the wheel really tightly. And then when he went to turn, he'd come to the end of where his arm could extend and he couldn't turn anymore. And so he was struggling between the shifting and the turning. And I knew there was an easier way, but sitting in the passenger seat of this parking lot where he's trying to practice these skills, I couldn't think of how to do it. So I had him stop and we switched seats. And while I was sitting in the driver's seat, I was able to show him my trick on doing it. So I thought that steering and shifting is super easy. And it is once you know the secret. So I had to show him how to steer with your palm or steer on the inside instead of trying to grip the wheel so tightly. When you drive an automatic, you've got the 10 and 2 and you're gripping tightly and that works. But when you're driving a stick shift and shifting while you're turning, that doesn't work. So in that way, I was able to transfer my expertise to my son, but I had to first think about how to articulate that. And that might be true for you, something that is so easy for you. You might have to go back and do it over again and think about how you're making those decisions, because likely you're holding the wheel in a different way, or you're making a decision based on what you're seeing. It doesn't even seem like you're trying hard. It just seems very natural to you, like doing the scheduling. So you're making many of these decisions and you don't know what it is. So you have to go back and you have to pretend like you're a beginner and think about what are these steps. That way, your expertise can be transferred in the form of a course. So if you want to build confidence in being a course creator, these are the 4 thoughts. Think about your opinion as having great value, because it does. Think about having empathy towards your audience so that the focus is on them and not you. That will build confidence. Think about the experiences that you've had and be willing to share it with other people, because those experiences are valuable to other people and that can build confidence. And then think of yourself as an expert. It's likely that you're really, really good at what you do, and you just have to figure out how to articulate what you're thinking, what decisions you're making in order for you to transfer that genius to somebody else. I hope this helps you build a ton of confidence, and don't let the doubts that you might have about yourself stop you from turning what you know into an excellent course.